Hello, folks. Hello. Check my gal. Lulu replied. Eager. My whole life, I've waited for this moment. Revenge against the enemy. The Allies. Wanda guessed. Magao nodded. The Allied soldiers massacred my entire town back in the last days of World War IV. Magao noted. I will repay them for this atrocity. I will repay them for this atrocity. Times 10. Okay. Oh, the mother. Agreed. Wanda didn't see. Didn't think she had time. Would have liked to know the details behind this massacre. But it didn't seem like the right time. Perhaps after they were all back in friendly territory. Perhaps after they were. Perhaps later. They were licking our wounds. I need to contact the mall, Wanda said, and got on the radio. We hoped that the mall was in this isolated area where nobody was going to see him talking suspiciously on a radio. She wondered if maybe he went after Dominic Green to silence him. It was what she would have done. Did he head after Dominic Green? Funny thing, I thought I wasn't going to have any time to write this morning because of all the notes I had, but I ended up writing for like 50 minutes almost, which is pretty good. I think it was 50 minutes. I didn't exactly watch the clock when I started, you know. I finished my notes and I took a little break, and when it felt like it was the right time to start writing, I started writing. That's the way it's supposed to be. You write when you... I guess you could write when you feel like it and not stick to a schedule, but, you know, I prefer a schedule because I've always been objective-orientated mindset, I guess. I think that's the term for it. What she would have done. She probably would have slit Green's throat. Come in. Come in, Wanda requested, speaking in English. Shock Mongol. That's pronounced Magao, not Magoo. Almost like the word Mogwai, I guess. I'm sure if the Mogwai exists in this universe, the Jade invented them. They invent all the worst things in the world. Their technology. They're like, I don't know, they're almost like if Sauron from Lord of the Rings, instead of being magical, he was a master of advanced technology. Are also kind of like the Japanese in World War II, except with much more advanced technology. Like if they were on an even playing field with the Americans. They were in some areas, but the Japanese research had a lot of trouble in World War II because of redundancies and rivalries and political infighting and all that stuff. So some stuff they had was more advanced, and other stuff was like behind. I mean, in China, their soldiers, pretty much like they were in World War I, with those putty boots and stuff, so they didn't look much more advanced than the enemy, the Chinese, who were backwards in a military sense at the time, which is why Japan had such success, you know? But I'm kind of rambling. After all, this is about how to write. It's not about how... This is a discussion of how to write, not how Japan lost World War II. Let's see. Looked a little uneasy to hear Londa speak English, as though that made him suspect. As though that made her suspect. But looking at me and speaking the devil's tongue, Londa protested. You are, in a way, Shock muttered. Mogal replied, I would prefer to never hear English again. And perhaps it will be extinct. Extinct someday soon. Wanda didn't know about that. He doubted the Jade would be in a position to wipe English from the world for some time. But she was certain they would have their nation back, at least. And they could boot out. The mole replied to Londa's call. Yes, how are things, dear? Things, Captain Moon. Is it Captain Moon or Major Moon? Major Moon sounds a bit better, I think. Let's see. The mole asked. My men are rescued. I've liberated my soldiers. I've liberated our soldiers, Londa replied. A shame you didn't provide a map for their location. I might have finished sooner. Sorry about that, Maul replied. I am not expert on this place either. Sorry about that. I meant to tell you. But my mind must have been elsewhere. A senior moment, I suppose. Wanda shook her head, which the mole missed. Okay. Can you point us direction of an armory? I asked. My men need weapons. Refresh my memory as to your location, the mole requested. Wanda gave him her current location. She mentioned the signs on the walls. On the wall in one of the hallways. The mole pondered that info for a moment, then gave on a location for a security checkpoint. Might find weapons there, the mole said. Don't engage the enemy until you're all well armed. Right. Happy hunting, the mole wished. Wanda put the radio aside, and looked to her men. We're going to go back, see about taking the main hangar room, Wanda said. And we'll have to collect some weapons. Let's see, main armory. Armory room. Nope. Armories. I'll have to collect weapons on the way and scalps. Mulgrow. Okay, all noted. Added. Wanda smiled devilishly at that. Men, move out. Men with weapons in the lead. Wanda said. Wanda ended up taking point. Point herself. She was the only one. A suppressed weapon, after all. She showed off the gun, asking if anybody recognized it. Shock did. It belonged to Borgo Ba. It belonged to Borgo Ven, a corporal, a sergeant, former commando. Shock said. Was a valuable member. The organization of our army. I assume he is dead. Apparently so. Wanda replied. Our mole friend stole off his corpse. He wouldn't want it brought with him. Doc reassured. Wanda didn't find anyone in those darkened corridors to put down with the pistol. She found the security checkpoint and was pleased to discover it had a little armory. A big stack of AKs laid on a desk. Many of them stained with blood. Most of them, there were stacks of mags adjacent to them. Not for everyone. Everyone to have 3. There were no grenades, and there were other weapons sitting against walls through the room, including shotguns and Bloodcon SMGs. God smile upon us, Wanda said to her comrades, who looked pleased at their find. They must favor us tonight. One of Wanda's men cheered. The whole group was armed then, mostly with AKs. Now the weapon wasn't every weapon. No weapons were left behind in the little security room. They were all carted off. Wanda herself had 2 weapons. Extra rifles on her back. 2 rifles for weapons hanging on her back. And she took an AK or herself, viewing it as a better weapon than a Bloodkin SMG. The SMG was mostly some policeman's weapon, in her view, on a preferred stopping power. Let's see, is it 10mm? On the preferred stopping power and accuracy. And shooting from a distance. Lovely night. Now let's march on the hangar room and put an end to the enemy, Wanda said. Yes, sir, I replied. I should have him say aye, sir, but that's more of a sailor thing. 5 minutes later, Wanda Moon and her men were in position in one of the corridors that branched off of the main hangar. There were dozens of men. There were about a dozen men in the hangar room, mostly about that very bloodied sandbag position. It spanned most of the room. There were a few men up on the catwalks, wielding semi-auto rifles. There was an office room close to Wanda's position, and an office close to Wanda's. The hangar entrance was barricaded with various vehicles, most of them shot up, leaking oil and gas. There was an office. There was an office near Wanda's corridor. The one with the wide open the one with the roof festooned with sandbag cover. There was nobody up on the roof, but there were 3 men in the office, including some Zedin captain. One of the order men spread out in the dark and opened fire on her signal, which would be a grenade through the window through one of the windows, one of the shadow windows of the office. Wanda crept in the dark, moving in prone at times. It took her about a minute to get to one of the windows. She could listen to the enemy talking inside. The captain sounded hopeful that he wasn't going to lose his life. Well, about their fight. Hopefully the army will attack soon. Bring the copters in. Knock out the AA. And then all those boys, a lot of boys, rappel down. Rappel down and come and secure the area. And drop the air cavalry. Captain noted. How'd the air cav get here this fast? his coordinates. I mean, I thought those boys were all in Kamja right now. Let's see, Kamja. Check Aircav. The Aircav exist yet, or are they like it's precursor? It's hard to tell when you do all this all history stuff. Sometimes you lose track of if you have technology earlier or later. Let's see. Just internet just went down and I got a stupid message. But that's people are talking, so I'm gonna sign off here, folks. Have a nice day. See you around.